The Israel-Iran conflict continues and the violence is escalating fast. But what began as a cross-border strikes has now turned into direct hits on military, civilian, and nuclear sites, with rising casualties and high-stakes diplomacy now underway. Early Thursday, Iran launched a series of missile attacks on Israel, striking 4 major locations across central and southern parts of the country. One of the most serious hits came near Soroka Hospital in Beersheba, a key medical facility that treats wounded soldiers from the Gaza conflict. Iran claimed the hospital was an Israeli military and intelligence base, not a health facility. Israeli officials confirmed that a building adjacent to the hospital was hit, causing significant structural damage. Medical crews searched for anyone possibly trapped under debris, while Prime Minister Netanyahu vowed that Iran would, quote, pay a heavy price after the hospital strike. Preliminary reports suggest that around 25 people have been injured.
You can see behind me, I am on the scene where a missile struck right in the center of a building complex. We have 5 buildings that were hit by the missile. We have one which is the main building and all the other ones surrounding it, which were partially hit as well. We are currently evacuating minimal amount of patients.
Another Iranian missile struck the Holland area in Tel Aviv. One building reportedly collapsed, and emergency services says one person is seriously injured and over 24 others suffered minor injuries. Sirens were also heard across Tel Aviv and Jerusalem as multiple explosions rocked central Israel.
Tonight's missile strike demonstrated that we have achieved full dominance over the skies of the occupied territories, and that their residents are now entirely defenseless against Iranian missile attacks.
Now, in response, Israel launched airstrikes on Iran's nuclear infrastructure, and Israeli jets targeted the Arak heavy water reactor in southwest Tehran. The facility, which plays a role in Iran's nuclear program, had been evacuated before the strike, and Iranian officials said there was no radiation risk.
There is no contamination in the region, as since a long time ago necessary safety measures had been taken. The site had been evacuated and no human casualties have been reported, fortunately. Also, no residential have been hit, and civilian areas remain unharmed.
Meanwhile, both sides trading blows. All eyes are on President Donald Trump as he weighs whether to involve the U.S. military. Now, he's reportedly told his advisors that he would only approve a strike on Iran if the GBU-57 bunker buster bomb could guarantee the destruction of Iran's deeply buried Fordow uranium enrichment site.
Ideas as to what to do, but I haven't made a final. I like to make the final decision 1 second before it's due, because things change. I mean, especially with war, things change with war. It can go from one extreme to the other. War is very bad. There was no reason for this to be a war.
The U.S. Embassy in Qatar, meanwhile, has limited access to its massive Udeid Air Base and advised staff to stay alert. Iran has threatened to strike U.S. assets if Washington does join Israel in its military campaign.
America getting involved in this would be 100% to its detriment. The damage it would suffer would be much more than what Iran would possibly suffer. The damage to America, if it gets militarily involved, would be an irreparable damage, no doubt.
Now, since the conflict began last Friday, the toll is grim. Over 240 people have been killed in Iran due to Israeli attacks, including 70 women and children. And at least 24 people have died in Israel in the latest Iranian missile strikes. With military targets expanding and diplomatic choices now narrowing, the conflict is entering a dangerous new phase. The question now is not whether the fighting will continue, but how far will it in fact go?
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
$36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktoren,
Hindi,
$30 trillion ka karj mo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Sekali radikali.
Japanese,
4兆ドル以上も
Portuguese,
por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select the language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.